Hi, everyone. This is Cindy at an open door. It is March 27. This is the hour we entitle Sharing the Road. Excuse me a second. Did not sneeze yet, so we'll see what happens. Sharing the word. This week we're still working with resurrection. Next week we start divine union. Before we begin with the book and the share, and before I hand things over to Sandra, as has become our habit, I will hit the share button and we'll experience a clip of the guides together. So let's do that. Here we go.
We see before us attempting to recognize the self in a landscape that is being altered with the rapidity that you are unused to. The requirement for change at this time is to align to the change and not to fight the change. The opportunity the change presents at the individual and collective levels are to withstand a level of tonality that is increasing on this plane and is in fact supporting all to re-know itself in a higher expression. Now, expression does not mean the thing is not as it appeared to be, or perhaps goes by a name it has not thus far. It does, in fact, mean that the realization of form in an accelerated tone, inclusive of the form that you have taken, or the identities that you have used, or the ways that you have catalogued experience through names and decisions of what things should be known as and with, must be seen as the manifestation of a higher level of vibrational agreement or accord. Now, to move into higher accord is, in fact, to align to a level of tone where the tone itself is doing the work, where the tone itself is embarking on its expressive act of knowing. Now, the divine as you indeed knows all things as of source. It is not deciding what might be worthy today, what might have been good yesterday and may be required tomorrow. It is simply knowing in awareness. And the awareness of this knowing must be seen as inclusive of source. While in all ways things are altered and changed, all things are still of source, simply operating at a different level of tone. Now, the tone that the common field has utilized thus far, as has been prior explained, is held at a level of density known through fear. And the idea that fear should be your companion is beginning to move. The idea that you require judgment, you require hatred, you require war to get what you wish is actually being swayed. And as something sways, it creates some tumult. And as the tumult increases, it claims some chaos. And as the structure itself begins to fall, it comes down with a bit of a resounding crash. There goes the idea of civilization, you may say, and in fact that is not what is occurring. Civilization will continue, but in different ways, and the ways that you have required a civilization to be, perhaps under the rule of a king or a president or a cabinet of some kind, must be indeed altered to support the requirements of the new. Now, we are not saying that you will not have structure or governance, but what we are suggesting is that the mandate that the old ways replicate themselves yet again cannot be held. Cannot be held because the very ideas of them were moored in the common field that was in every way reduced through the presence of fear. Now, when you have moved beyond the presence of fear, imagine yourself climbing out of a bog, covered in the mud that the bog has held, and while you are no longer trapped in the mud, you are still encased in it and seeking to scrape it from your skin. Perhaps you are pulling off your clothing to become clean yet again. And the aspect of self becoming clean or releasing the residual detritus of fear is actually occurring now. You are being moved beyond, but you are feeling the muck and seeing the muck as you are crawling through the muck, and finally we say, thank goodness, beyond it. You don't get to leave the muck unless you witness it, and you are beginning to see it because you cannot not see it. The idea of witnessing something terrible is anathema to many of you. I should only be looking at the pretty pictures. I shouldn't look at something that disturbs me. I shouldn't reduce my vibration through that interaction. And if you wish your ignorance, you may keep it. But understand this, if you are living next to a dump yard, the smell from it eventually will encroach the garden of petunias that you may be sitting in. So we suggest to each of you on this fine night, be ready for the changes that come, and do not be afraid of bearing witness to what you see, because it is through bearing witness that you may reclaim these things. The claim, behold, I make all things new, is the claim of the divine self, or the monad, or if you wish, the Christed truth come as with and in all of you. And it is this viewpoint or vantage point of what is seen from what we call the upper room that actually lifts or escalates vibration. It is the expression of the divine. It is not you with your binoculars saying, let's make this nicer today, let's improve this a little bit. He needs a little more color in his cheeks, perhaps, and she could use some blush herself. Please, please, please understand that you are not enacting a pageant of the divine. You are claiming the divine in the very muck that you are seeing, and you are cleansing the muck through your interaction with it. You are releasing the thing, not banishing it, releasing it so that it may be reknown, reseen, reclaimed from the upper room.
Well, good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. That was interesting. Any comments from each of you or any of you? William, good morning.
Good morning. I felt an excitement to get here today. And this line that struck me, claiming the divine in the muck you see. Boy, I have really allowed myself to view so many of the podcasts about what's going on in our world today. And but it's much broader than just what I've been so used to hearing in the US, but hearing from the total world picture. And it really has been an interesting experience. And the more I see this, the less I'm in it. And I feel a pace there. And I feel it's like God is in everything I see. And I do reclaim the new. So it's just fascinating observing this in myself as I take in and come out, take in and come back. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you. That was lovely. Anyone else? Well, I also reacted to the word muck. And at first he called it climbing out of a bog and the mud still clinging to us as we crawl out crawl through the muck. And my reaction was, it's only muck because we see it that way. I don't know why I had that reaction, but that it's our perception of it that's calling it muck or mud. Certainly doesn't seem very nice at the time we're living through, but there is also so much beauty. So I don't know. That's the reaction I had. Anyone else? Maybe you just want to ponder it for a while. Patricia.
It's like both are true. I mean, just kind of what you're saying. There's muck and mud that clings to us, but there's also beauty. Um, at present, given what's going on in the world, oh, how it strikes me, the turmoil, as he puts it, uh, it certainly is mucky. I don't see the beauty in it. And I'm trying to, but I'm having a hard time turning it around. So I'm wondering if anyone has any thoughts on that. It's
My immediate response is Mr. Rogers. We talked about Mr. Rogers last week, I think. And he used to say, I used to sit down with my little Katie when she was like 3 and watch Mr. Rogers all the time. And he said, when something seems bad is happening or something bad is happening, look for the helpers. And I just always remembered that I just like Doctors Without Borders who go into war zones and help children. There's beauty in that. There's people coming together who wouldn't normally come together in a time of crisis. So look for the helpers. It's like not to say there is to avoid what's actually happening, but look what emerges from it. That's what came to mind when you asked that question. Good old Mr. Rogers, I miss him. So we're on page 132. Who would like to read today? Got my pencil ready to take your name down. Cindy. Anyone else? I don't see any hands, so we'll just let Cindy read and then see what happens. Maybe somebody will jump in. Day 132, day 12. Is everybody there? This is our last day with resurrection.
If anybody keeps reading it and they want to talk about any of it, just,
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the same space.
yeah. Or let me,
Thank you, Cindy.
okay. Day 12. When we present through Paul, we have an agenda. Every class we offer has an intention behind it. And the intention for this morning is recognition of where you stand in your own way, what you choose as obstacle to become your teacher. Now, every obstacle on this path must be seen as opportunity. But the recognition of an obstacle can be a hindrance when one wishes not to look. How one perceives herself, himself, through the faulty mirror we have talked about prior, is to understand that you cannot see with a distorted lens. It can only be seen in the light of truth. Shall I keep reading?
Yeah, I just thought of that. What we just heard, it's all about how we're perceiving it. can only be seen in the light of truth. Yeah.
You know, I guess what I'm about to say is if I am to accept the teachings, even just the way they're presented, then I accept that everything I'm seeing in the world right now is the past. Oh, I just started to cry. I mean, Richard keeps telling us the dream is already over, but even if I don't go that far and I just state the news reports or someone sharing a story of everything that's being received is the past. From everything that is being received as outside of myself is the past. That's step one. Step two, if I accept the teachings, I accept that the world is a projection of thoughts believed. Not the thoughts believed right now, but the world is a projection of the thoughts believed in the past, since what I am seeing coming back to me is the past. So, step three, if I desire to be part of what creates a new world, in the moment I see a world out there that is frightening, I could work with my higher self, whatever that means, to create a new inner world that has no fear in it in the moment and watch as it projects back to me. Just something that is coming up as I sit with Patricia's question. You know, if the world is frightening me and I accept the teachings, then I could choose to work with God, Source, Buddha, whatever it is, to allow the fear that's in me to be fully expressed without continually placing it on something outside of myself. And in the neutrality or the peace that results afterwards, can trust the teachings that tell me that will be part of what creates a different world. Somehow, hands are up, Sandra.
I see that. I've been rereading Practicing the Presence by Joel Goldsmith. And what's really become more deeply anchored is that I have everything I need. The world has everything it needs. We already have that. Like if when I have indications of ill health and I know for sure that I am healthy, it doesn't, it stays out there. It's not in me. I don't know how else to explain that, but I just know the truth. And when I know the truth and I really believe it, it doesn't matter so much what's happening out there. I am not afraid of it. And that's what he was channeling in the beginning of this clip, that we're going to align to a higher expression, a higher level of vibration. And then we'll see things differently. Okay, Richard, you were next. And then Patricia.
One number one, what how works for me right now is the world I used to experience as one innocent child of God was the by projection of the sin, guilt, and fear I felt, and that's the world where I made. That's what we all experience. But I've replaced that world, but since I woke up as one child of God, I realized that there is no sin, guilt and fear. So I've replaced sin, guilt, and fear in the mind of everyone in the world and the illusion with peace, love, and joy. Now, not every mind is willing to accept peace, love, and joy. That's the Holy Spirit's job, not my job. All I can do is extend it, the light and the love that I am. So, as we all begin to awaken, and we begin to clear our minds of fear, which is the base of the original projection, which has now been replaced by peace, love, and fear, the manifestation of that world will change. Instead of manifesting guilt and fear, the fear will dissipate and be replaced by love and joy. That seems to be working for me. That's how I understand the transformation to happen. Now, what that will look like in form, I have no idea. I have no idea what it'll look like. But I'm optimistic that we're moving from a world of sin, guilt, and fear to a world of peace, love, and joy. I don't know how long that will take. In time, it may take thousands of years, but most of us are beginning to realize that's what we want. And that's the vibration or the tone that I think the guys are talking about. Love us all.
Thank you, Richard. Tricia, you had your hand up.
And then I put it down because I couldn't remember what I was going to say. When I remember, I will review.
Thank you. John, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. What came for me, what highlighted, and it's just kind of what Richard was saying about what I'm choosing to do versus what I'm programmed with, and my program is pretty darn loud, but I am noticing, and I noticed it in the message about the petunias. And then I heard that again when Cindy was talking about opportunities, and I think opportunities, it's like petunias, opportunities. So I'm hearing a different voice, and the voice is one that's most welcome, and it's in contrast to the auditory stimulus that I'm most used to. So all I know about that is that if I want to amplify this, I got work to do. I can work with that voice. I can express it more. I can speak in a different tone and give it expression. Higher, lower, slower, timbre, everything. Work on the auditory signals that it's giving me, because I heard petunias pretty darn loud. I got 11 snail signals here. With all my seeds in for the summer. I'm so excited about the flowers, and it's just there's an excitement in the air, with not petunias, but any flowers like that. So and it's just stimulating the auditory sense, because I know that I can see stuff and I can feel stuff, and very readily. But am I willing to give the expression? And auditorily, now I feel happy, I feel healthy, I feel absolutely terrific, and give that expression to myself, with my petunias and my voice and my expression, and that's the path that I'm picking up today. So thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here with all my good friends.
You know what I love so much? I love that when each of us as individuated expressions enjoy the day, enjoy the flowers, enjoy each other, that we are helping the world. We are actually helping the entire world just by being our true nature and enjoying it. And it's not that I'm being an ostrich and putting my head in the sand. I can see the people interacting and bombing each other, doing things that are not horrible. And yet, I don't help the world by getting all upset about it and engaging in it in any way. And I don't want to. And it sounds selfish, but I am enjoying what God has chosen to reveal to me and wants to reveal to every single being. And if I'm just interacting with the trees or the flowers that day, that's fine. So I just love what you said, John and Richard and Willie, all of you, because it seems like, oh my gosh, it's so hard, it's so hard. Look at the world, but that's not true. It's not that hard. It's simple. Off my soapbox now. Who wants to read next? William.
Well, what comes to me is I'm always doing the best I can. And whatever I see, I see. And I know that's being projected from inside. And in a sense, there's no muck, there's no whatever. It's whatever I'm projecting. And that is the past. And to the extent that I'm not feeling joy, then that's my level of fear that's operating. So I just kind of see this vertical dimension where I'm sliding all over, up and down, depending on the level of fear and illusions that I'm observing inside. At least I'm beginning to look inside more and more instead of just concluding it's outside. So that's what's helping me is that
Yes. And that's
wow.
what the next paragraph is going to be about. It's like we're looking in a mirror when we're looking out. And I just think of little Pollyanna walking around that town. Those of us who are old enough to have seen that movie, walking around that town, refusing to see the bad in anyone, and how in the end the entire town changed. I mean, it was probably way back in the 50s when that movie came out. So let's move on. Would any of you like to read? If not, I'll read. Okay, thank you, Rana.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. We're on the second paragraph, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We invite you each today to stand before a mirror. It can be any mirror you wish, small or large, but the reflection in this mirror will hold the truth of your being. And the intention here is not to look away, not to deny what you see, not to excuse what you see, not to pretend that it's not there. The choice to recognize the self, blemishes and all, hindrances and all, will support you in a higher way of seeing self. But this cannot occur when you refute truth for the convenience of the known. The convenience of the known means, very simply, I don't want to see what I don't want to see, because if indeed I saw it, I may have to address it and change. Recognition in truth is the teaching, and the articulation of the monad that comes at the cost of the old will be what translates your experience as perceiver of self.
Any thoughts on that? You want to keep going, Rana?
Sure. You stand before this mirror today in a willingness to see. Now, the self that sees has predilections still. Let me like myself. Let me approve of my body. Let me not think about those terrible things I said one day that must mean I am a this or a that. Your idea of what you should be or would believe yourself to be, either high or low, creates an obstructive filter. Now, when a filter is taken off a camera lens, perhaps what is seen is true. But what is here to be seen is not to be judged, but recognized in neutrality. Understand this, friends. It is you who decide what is worthy or not, what is good or not good, what can be shared and seen, and what cannot be. And the recognition in this mirror will not fail you if your intent to see clearly is presented in fullness. See yourself in this mirror and allow the reflection to claim you. Any ideas of self that are imprinted in this reflection, any disfigurement of self that you have accrued through wrong idealization, faulty perception, choosing to see in fear, or choosing to deny truth, will now be met by you. So the limited self in my mind, right, is screaming. It's like, oh no, you're going to have to sacrifice something else to get to be better. But I know that is not truth, but I'm just reflecting on the first thought that kind of arises is this resistance. Oh, this is going to be hard. This is going to hurt. You're going to have to let go of something. Get ready. But I know that's not true. I know it. I've had experience of letting go, and it has not turned out to be sacrifice. It's seeing in a way that I, up till this moment, have not had the capacity. But it sounds like to me, since something bigger is doing the work, it's not me making me see differently, getting a formula to know how, right? Because that's what the mind, it wants that formula, man. Yeah, give me that thing so I can reach this goal. And so there's a real understanding here that that's all mind, and that the best to do is to sit back and allow these words just to flow through. And don't effort. Don't think that there's something that needs to be accomplished. The feeling that I've been brought here to read this and experience it with you all on this particular morning feels powerful. That's the work. And it's not something Rana is doing.
Yes.
Thanks.
Could you just read the first sentence of the next paragraph, then I'll call on other people who wanted to speak.
Sure. We are going to call the divine, the true spirit of God, into the perception you hold, so what is reflected back to you will be in truth.
Yeah. I mean, Cindy was talking about a couple of days ago, I don't remember, about how she was watching how people use their own perception or something like this about what happened, and then they massage it to fit their way of seeing. I don't know if I said that correctly, but something similar to that. And that's exactly what they said at the very top of the page. Your idea of what should be or believe yourself to be creates an obstructive filter. There's a filter. So that even whatever we think we're seeing, we need to let go of those filters, invite God in, the spirit of God, true being, whatever you want to call it, the absolute, into that perception.
In that moment,
Yes.
when it's remembered to be done. And I don't remember all the time.
So
I
that's
still look
okay.
at grandma and go,
When I don't remember, I always feel like that's just another opportunity to learn. So I think William had his hand up first. Go ahead, William.
Well, I just see that one sentence. See yourself in the Miss Mirror and allow the reflection to claim you, to claim you. Wow, wait a minute. I had to really sit with that. And what I see then, what you're just talking about, the obstruction filter, that's my understanding that I know I'm projecting. That's just another filter. So when I see myself in the mirror, I've got an understanding of what's happening. And that sentence just pulls the rug out. It's that reflection is the truth of God that's claiming me, not me saying, oh, that now I see who I am. Look there, I'm pretty clever. I'm projecting myself, and that's the way I have insight. I love that. I love that. It's like being claimed by the truth, thy will. Something about that sure resonates with me.
Hmm. John.
Yeah, I like your expression, William. I like it a lot. The way that you come across there is very powerful, and Rona too. But for me, I just want to look at this. The first thing, not the first thing, but the second thing came to my mind is mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of us all? And then you know what comes to me. Then I got my story running, and it's my story. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, what have I really got going on? I got myself in a circus with a hall of mirrors, and they all I got a fat John and a thin John, and this and tall John, and this that, and the next thing. And I know it's all being made up, and it's all an illusion. But it is like you say, William. It's like an identity, like it's just showing me back what I'm claiming. So that's there is more to it than mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of all? I got to face some of this identity stuff that I've put out. That's not so friendly. So it's a question of balance, and I so love that you read that next line, and you were called to read it can call the true spirit of God or the divine to help me with my distorted vision, with my lack of clarity. Oh yes, sir, no, sir, three bags full, sir. John, I need clear sightedness and clear audience, clear hearing, and clear sentience, clear feeling. I need the whole shebang, or maybe I don't. Thank you.
I love your enthusiasm, John. It just pokes right through to my heart.
I agree, William. You're always so peppy. Cindy.
I have this distant memory of being in these groups, wondering why there are only women or almost only women. And now I just feel so, so, so grateful for all the ways we show up. Um, I'm looking for the way it wants to be said. It feels as if what is being realized here is that from the standpoint of being the dream character or the separate self, I I can't see it differently. I can though, and what even the guides keep telling me, they keep saying this work is not being done by the small self, it's being done by the high self or the risen Christ or the monad. And so it's useful for me whenever I notice that I am trying to do it better, or I am trying to let something go, or I am trying to see things clearly. Um, because that aspect of me can't do any of those things. And here's the example I'm working with now, which seems so silly. Not silly, but I was part of a conversation last evening, and afterwards there was this feeling like I had done it wrong. Like I had spoken what my truth is, and I didn't listen well enough. And I wonder how this other person feels about me. And boy, was I egotist. Like there was, and Rana, I'm great. There are a number of people over the years, and this was very useful as I sat there, that have come back to me and said, I'm sorry for when I said, and by the time they said they were sorry, I couldn't for the life of me remember like the conversation. And so last night, and I woke up with it again this morning, and it there was this recognition that there was this I separate programming that was running that was trying to make something that just happened proof that I'm egotistical and I don't even remember now, right? And it felt really real. And there was, with all the work we're doing, there was this recognition that it was all mine. Like every thought that I heard another or I wasn't listening didn't come from the other. There is no other in this teaching, right? It's all happening here, right? So being able to stand still saying this entire story is made up, to just hold a sense of a small self. And there was such a strong desire to call the other, a strong desire to email the other, a strong desire to help the other. Like I can't even begin to tell you how many different ways this sense of being separate and wanting to make it better was like arising here. And all I kept doing was not doing that and accepting that there's something outside of this sense of a separate self. And I kept asking for help. I brought it to the diet and it really, and watching it dissolve, just the sense of separation dissolving. But every last thought that said, I have to let it go, or I have to do better, or this is what, there was a recognition at some point in this experience that everything that occurred in this conversation just happened. There was no forethought. There was no somebody here that was choosing to correct another, for instance, in the process of it happening. It was all an evaluation after the fact. In the moment, it was just occurring, and it was actually a really pleasant kind of conversation. The whole thing, like if anyone that was there, no one here, I think, was there, um, they wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. I don't think. Yeah. So the understanding from the guides that it's the higher self or the monad that's actually doing all of this work. And the course keeps saying, God takes the final step. And even in that clip we watched, it said you come to the realization that the tone is doing the work. More and more, I'm just understanding that if I feel like I have to do something and it relates to something outside of me, I can't. All I could do is surrender, which means sometimes just tie my hands and don't do anything into the world and stand still and allow the uncomfortableness to show up and choose to believe that the truth is true. So I was just I don't even know who said what when because we're all one, but this idea that I have to or this is my, it doesn't, my experience is becoming something other than that. I don't, I'm going to stop talking now.
I think the experience you just described is a universal experience. I feel like I could say with 90% certainty that everyone who is listening has had that exact feeling. And just what I'm understanding, it's not understanding, what I am knowing is that the words that we say are not is not the communicator. So we don't have to worry about the right words. It's the tone. It's the vibrational field that we are emanating that that is what is communicating so much more. And now that I know that, I don't worry so much about whether I say the right words, as long as I know that I'm sending you love. And immerse myself in that love as well, that I am being loved as I'm sending you love. And that egoic voice, she just likes to pick on me. My daughter is funny. I've named that voice. It's Helga. And I said, why is it Helga? I don't know. But anyway, she wants to look in the mirror, mirror on the wall, and be called the fairest of them all. She wants that. She wants to be she's so egotistical. But now that I know the truth, I just, even as I'm talking right now, it doesn't matter what words I'm saying. I love you. And that's all I need. So, Richard. And after okay, go ahead.
I'm going to share with you something that may sound egotistical, but it works for me. The last thing I do every morning when I get ready to leave my bedroom, I walk in the bathroom and I comb my mirror. I have this big mirror on the wall. And after I comb my hair, I say to myself, okay, let's go be the love. And that's the way I set my day.
Love that. So we're on the second paragraph on 133, and I'll read a little bit here. We are going to call the divine, the true spirit of God, into the perception you hold. So what is reflected back to you will be in truth. Now, we are not going to give you the perfect reflection that is indeed how we see you. We are showing you how you obstruct through an identity that you have claimed in agreement to fear. This is the first step of this exercise. Let the mirror be illumined in truth and see what you see and allow yourself to see what is revealed for you. Don't decide what it means to see in this way. Allow the experience of sight or perception to be the gift that you are given. You don't clean a dirty room without identifying the dirt, nor do you release a false idea of self without an acknowledgement that you have adhered to this for some time. Paul is seeing the image of band-aids being pulled, scars being revealed, tokens of history burned into flesh, pain that has been held in the body, attitudes of scorn and grief, rage and frustration, all being seen in this mirror because they have been present as how you would reflect self. They may now be seen to be reckoned with. And the divine is in there with you while you're doing this looking, is what I want to say. Now, a reckoning is a facing of self and one's creations. And this reckoning is a deep gift because where we intend to take you is to a level of vibration where you will no longer hold even the recognition of what once was. Because the idealized self, true self, if you wish, will be present and occupying its place. Of course, we know it's already there. John.
That Sandra, because it kind of harks back when you're talking about these scars and stuff like that. It kind of, and the pain. It kind of harks back what Cindy was saying about this. So there's always more women and stuff. Well, one thing that occurs to me, and it's I don't think it should ever be overlooked. Like we've always had this experience of oneness. Everybody has had it. You mentioned it before, but we've had this in utero, every single one of us. And the one thing that women have is they have experienced, especially through having children, they've experienced the actual physical experience of that oneness with another person. So there's a greater sensitivity to nurturing and to humanity than there is genetically through the man. So, and as a result of that, the sensitivity can lead to some pain. It can lead to some scars, and that's true for so many women that I've said. They got these scars going on, and men too, but women in particular. But one thing about scars is whenever the scar is healed, where it's healed with a scar, it's always stronger than it was before. So it's a question of always being built up, or these pains and scars, they're actually building and strengthening the fortress to handle it with a greater expression of life. So it's a huge advantage to be a woman, in my opinion, to have this viewpoint and experience. So that's what I'm getting when you're talking about scars and stuff. So thanks very much for letting me speak to that.
Thank you. Hey, anyone else have anything to say here? Who wants to read next? Cindy, are you willing to read if no one else wants to?
For sure. We're reading on the count of three, right?
Yes.
On the count of three, we are going to claim. So I just want to say, as we send it, this is an invitation for direct experience. We've done this before, but if you want to listen and not even read and just, wow, this is really happening, the guides have stated that only now exists. So it's not like when it was first channeled or when it was first released as a book. This is happening now, and you can choose to be as present for it as you're able. On the count of three, we are going to claim all of you in the brightest light you can bear. Now, when a light is so bright, I'm feeling tears in my heart. Now, when a light is so bright, it reclaims what it encounters, and it recreates from them what they can only be known as in truth. You have an alchemical act of expression, and the claiming we do now for you is to not make you better, but for you to understand that what is seen in this faulty mirror of personality, what is now being seen in truth, that which you have used to know the self in small self ways, may now be reclaimed in a new mirror that reflects truth in a highway, not the hindrances to truth or the obstacles to true perception. On the count of three. Now one. Now two. Now three. be received by us and allow this mirror to be illumined in perfect light, to recognize only the divine that is the true reflection of your being. The hindrances you've held, the obstacles in perception, being claimed by this bright light, will be known anew. And the claim you may make now with us, behold, I make all things new, spoken to this mirror, will rectify any wrong, reclaim all darkness, and choose itself to be known anew. To choose itself to be known anew is the divine reclaiming every aspect of being that it encounters in its true glory. We speak these words for you now. On this day, we claim that all who hear these words, all who are present for this recognition, will allow the scales to fall from their eyes, layers of deceit, layers of fear, and what has been chosen to deny the light is now re-chosen to reflect it. We know who you are in truth. We know what you are in truth. We know how you serve in truth. Indeed, you have come.
Can you keep going a little bit?
Now, because this is a meditation and an act of expression both, we wish you now to surrender to the energy that is present for this meditation, an alchemical act of recognition and reknowing. Paul is feeling the energy around him as if from a shower, moving away or reclaiming what it encounters. You may all do the same, or simply allow what is transpiring in the energetic field to be laid present for you each to reknow the self and truth. The agreement we are making with you today is to a process of release of what has held you at bay and what you would take to the upper room unknowingly because you don't understand that what you have chosen to know yourself through has been in hindrance to the truth of the divine that is present as all things. We see you each as you can only be seen. We have said prior, your beauty is unrecognizable to you. The depth of beauty in all of you is beyond your recognition. We hope now, we trust now, we claim now that you will begin to see this, because the mirror you are now presented with will be the mirror of truth.
That was just so beautiful. What do you think, Cindy?
I think I'm stunningly gorgeous,
Yes, you are.
and so is everything I see. I believe I've been saying this a lot through me. I've decided, or it's been decided here that that this teaching is true. And I no longer wish to support the parts that are being held within me that would like to understand it first, or argue against it, or decide that it's not true. Something has just dropped here, and I've decided that it serves me best to just trust the teaching and allow it to claim me in a new understanding of my beauty. Yeah.
I
Come
love that you said that. And when William mentioned that he loved John's enthusiasm, I think that's the word you used, William. I'm not sure, but that's how I took it. To me, what's happening is I call it the sparkling effect because I see sparkles. I mean, not literal sparkles, but I see the sparkles of people, and they're a little different for each person. They have many facets to them, and the same person might sparkle a little differently tomorrow than they did today for me. But it's a whole different way of seeing, and it's that see that the course calls seeing past beyond what I used to see. Which, boy, I had radar for everything that was going wrong before. I mean, I just had like this little radar thing going, ooh, I found out, like, but now it's the sparkle detector and I like it. And it's totally different. And when you said I am beautiful, I love that. I just love that. Each of us is beautiful. Oh, there's a song like that, isn't there? Everyone is beautiful in their own way. I don't think I even like that song, but it just came in. Hi, William.
Yeah, everything is going my way. That's the one song. I just love the friends. We know who you are in truth. We know how you serve in truth. Indeed, you have come. And I see that moment of connection, that moment of now, where there's joy, exhilaration, the unknown, everything is there. All is there. It's all. Not only is it all as well, all is here, and I just feel that, and that's where I just want to slow down. And I found myself resisting at the speed we were going. I just want to absorb it. I feel so good. I want to, it's like I want to let the food digest and I don't want to rush it, which I tend to do. So, anyway, I just, being here, I see every now and then I don't have to look at me. I'm just here. And that's so nice. Yeah.
Would you be willing to read a paragraph for us, William?
Yeah, yeah. I like it when I can listen.
Okay, well,
That's okay. I don't mind reading. Is it Paul seeing a mirror? Because I
yes,
kind of
that's
lost.
where we are.
Yeah, it reminds me of about two little kids were learning to read. My mother would have them read, and yeah. Anyway, that's what it reminded me of, a little kid. Paul is seeing a mirror. He sees a round one before him, and he sees a reflection that has not yet been seen. We invite you each to see a new mirror before you, that which is yet to be seen through, that which you have never been reflected by from the lower strata of recognition that you have known yourselves through. Allow this mirror now from this place in the upper room to grant you the gift of true sight. Boy, that's powerful. And true sight means moving beyond appearance to the recognition of truth. Let yourself see your reflection unhindered in your beauty, Cindy, and let this recognition be imprinted upon you so that you may perceive your fellows in the same legacy and vibration of truth.
That's just what we've been saying. The claim we make for you now, it will be so, is the mandate for articulation at this level of agreement. So all we have to do is agree. See the body you have known. See the expression of the energy you hold. See, I'm slowing down, William, because I agree with you. I have to go slower here. See even the idea of self, unencumbered, unhindered in its glory before you. And as you say these words, let them be heard through the entire field, spoken into infinity by the one who knows who he or she is. And here are the words: I am free. I am free. I am free. And let yourself be known, unhindered, unadorned. Simply be. As the monad, come in expression in the beauty of who you are. I think that's a great place to stop. Come in expression in the beauty of who you are. If we just could walk around in that and then see that in others, everything is different. That's what you keep telling us, Richard. Just be the love that you are. Any comments from anyone that want to speak? So next week, Amy will be back, and I will be gone, and you will be starting a new book. I've actually read this whole book, and it's a great book. Do you want to keep going?
I have a question.
Yes,
What if I don't keep going? Is there something that I'm going to miss?
absolutely not,
Okay,
because you already know.
right. I
You
just
know.
didn't know if there was something, worth me, before we start the next book. Is there some?
I love the chapter, The Gift of Being, which is chapter 7.
Okay.
But to me, it's like the guides reveal everything every time.
Every time. That's the sense that I get every week here. It's like there's a part of me that says, they've already said this so many times, but there's like just a different tenure to it or a tweak to it and deepening here, so I
And
just
yeah,
trust.
the coming together where we enhance the vibrational field. I don't know if that's correct, enhance, but where for me, I more easily enter that vibrational field. I can do it on my own, but when we're together, there's something
Yes.
there.
It's beyond the words that are on the page.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
The guides state that they teach in a one-room schoolhouse.
Yeah.
So they meet you where you are, and they've also stated that divine union contains all of the energetic imprints of everything that came before.
That's why I said every time they teach, it's like you're getting it all. And there's also something in a vibrational field where things bounce off of one another. So when we're talking, we're bounding and we're bouncing. I don't know. John has his hand raised. Are we still recording, by the way? We are. Okay, John?
Yeah, the other thing in answer to the question, maybe what really was, it's nothing new on the page, but there's two words on the cover. It says divine union. So that is an image that's way beyond words can express. So just to have that image as we approach the new book, that's an invitation to be I am free, unhindered, unadorned. That's all you can say. So I hope that that you'll add your presence to the frequency and the vibration of our meetings on Friday. But whether you do or not, you're headed in that way anyway. So it's just a matter of timing, I guess. But the very idea of that, the word,
I'll be here as a participant, like, and Amy will be facilitating, but I'll still be here.
Yeah. And Rona will be, I hope, and
Yes.
everybody else. God bless you all. Thank you so much for facilitating, Sandra.
Where are you
welcome.
going, Sandra?
Where am I going?
Puerto Rico, is that what you were talking
Oh,
about?
yes, the next 2 Fridays, I'll be on vacation with my family. And
Have a great trip.
I will.
All right, let me stop the recording and then we'll keep talking, just so I don't forget. Man, I love us. All right, here we go.